Alright, what it do, you two? Look, we got another banger on the channel. We got my boy Flocko breaking down why Jay-Z friends are turning on him, bro. What's going on? They gotta do anything with the Epstein Island?
That Jay-Z's PR return and that PR interview that was scripted was a complete failure. It had the opposite effect on the public. It didn't make the public see Jay-Z as more human. It actually made us think that Jay-Z is actually worse than we thought, to be honest. Now, I knew that it was over for Jay-Z, and I knew that like Jay-Z's, I don't know, reign at the top was crumbling and falling when I began to see the very same people that are usually terrified to criticize Jay-Z. When I seen they start speaking up against Jay-Z, when I see they start attacking Jay-Z and going at Jay-Z, that tells me, aha.
When they turn it on the boss.
The reward of criticizing Jay-Z is now greater than whatever risk that comes with not being a friend of Jay-Z. And once the reward outweighs the risk, you're about to see a whole bunch of grift.
The rewards of turning on Jay-Z rather than working with Jay-Z? It must be somebody they want their goddamn dirt.
Hop on board the anti-Jay-Z train that we've been on. See, Jay-Z spoke on capitalism, or spoke on like being criticized for being a capitalist. I haven't really heard people criticize Jay-Z for being a capitalist. I heard people criticize Jay-Z for effing people over in business deals and being grimy and being slimy.
That's how you get rich, though.
Jay-Z spoke on capitalism. And from what he said in regards to capitalism, you had a lot of usual Jay-Z defenders turn on him, and they turn against him.
Yeah, so I wanted you to talk a little bit about this idea of like you said earlier, like the things that you do for the culture, the ways that you put on, the ways that you try to protect and move forward, but kind of the pushback that you get sometimes about like people throw capitalists at you in a derogatory sense.
Yeah, I think in that verse specifically, the only thing I heard coming up was the American dream until we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. People had this allure for the struggling artist. That's a mind game, what we would call back in the day for tricknology. It was like, no, I'm not going for that. Like, no, I make art first. And then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I didn't take it, no one. That's not my reputation. That's not what I do. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people or taking advantage of, the loopholes in the system or some wrinkle in like a capitalist structure. That structure exists, and I just see the world for what it is, not for what I want it to be. I'm a realist, not an ideal.
You gotta think about it. It's like the only people that complain about Jay-Z is broke. Then the thing about it is like, you niggas get ripped off every day talking about Jay-Z do bad business. You go buy Jordans when the man over there selling for $7, but you go buy it from the store for $200, but you ain't like you get finessed every day. So he finessed you. You got a problem with it?
It's not idealistic.
So what Hov said too, he didn't get there by taking advantage of somebody or by finding some loophole and exploiting that.
I disagree.
So that's what I'm saying. If you look back at his story, he pioneered a lot of that stuff, a lot of the decisions, the different things that he was doing.
He started Rockefeller with drug money, right? Allegedly. That's not taking advantage of people?
No.
Selling crack to drug addicts in your own community isn't taking advantage of getting.
No, because they wanted that damn high. Just like you go to the dispensary and go get that goddamn guava leaf and that weed. Because why? You want that high. You're not taking advantage of nobody. You're making a profit.
So, it was the 80s. Hold up. What you could deem as taking advantage of somebody else may look at as survival. So
you survive by taking advantage of people. They're not.
How are you exclusive. By supply and demand?
Yes, if you supply, if you.
But that's not what. That's
literally.
I think that's a
that's
way
not
big,
what made you.
But y'all made like
that's not what made a billionaire though. That's what I'm saying though. That's
no, but so y'all made like 10 arguments. Let me respond to a couple.
Nigga, him selling drugs ain't got shit to do with him being a billionaire, nigga. That shit might got him the little Rolex and the chains and the studio time, but that shit didn't make him a billionaire, bro.
Listen to this. I'm gonna break it and simplify it. If I start a t-shirt line, right, and I sell $10 t-shirts, and I sell 100 million t-shirts, I'm a billionaire.
If you give me this scenario on a blank canvas, I'll probably lean more towards Ish than Mark Lamont Hill. But I understand what Mark Lamont Hill is saying, and because we're dealing with Jay-Z, you kind of have to add more context to this. Mark Lamont Hill is saying you can't do a podcast talking about, oh, I didn't do this, and this, when the very nature of what you do is that.
I don't have an issue with artists making money off their art. I don't have an issue with people making money or profit. Capitalism isn't the only system where people make money. That's why sometimes when people go, aha, you made some money, and you say you don't like capitalism. Well, yeah, there's other social systems where people make money. Like,
give me some.
Socialism. There's still, you can still have a profit in socialism, right? So it's not that there's no system where you can't make money. The question is to what extent. And I agree with you. If defining the issue isn't the definition of capitalism, it's the consequences of it. And so I would ask, somewhat rhetorically, but whatever, right? Like, is there ever been a capitalist system in the world where there hasn't been a huge gap between people who have and people who don't?
I have a question. Because the people who don't always complain about the people who have shit. The niggas with money not complaining about the people who don't have money. It's always the people that don't have no money complaining about people who have money. It's not fair. They got dirty money. Illuminati. Them niggas getting money. That's something you should do. You focus on them and they focus on money. Your attention goes where your energy goes. And your energy is hating on the motherfucker instead of getting the money.
No. Hold on, just let me finish, because y'all said like a lot of things. I just don't want to forget. I'm old. I'm just old. That's all. And then
I'll money and it's bad money.
To the billionaire point, the issue, I'm sure Jay-Z works hard. Jay-Z may work harder than everybody up here. Cool. Let's just. The issue for me isn't that, but that kid, to use your example, in Indonesia, or that kid in Latin America or wherever, is also working hard. And it's not just like an arbitrary U.S. standard of comfort. If you're working for $1 an hour, or if you have to work in a factory at 8 years old instead of going to school, I think most human beings would agree that that's an untenable set of circumstances. The issue with extreme amounts of wealth is that wealth depends on that kind of system. You sell 100 million t-shirts. It's hard to sell 100 million t-shirts without someone's labor being exploited. It's hard to get $1 billion, maybe not by putting guns to people's heads, but by investing in systems and companies that do those things, whether it's private security companies, whether it's places people that exploit labor. And that's my issue. I'm not saying, because Jay-Z kind of made a straw man argument in that interview where he's like, well, so a millionaire is bad, but 999,000 is good. It's not that. It's not about the individual people. It's about the system. That's my. The system itself doesn't allow for certain outcomes.
This is where hell may freeze over, because I can acknowledge that Jay-Z told a lie from the pits of hell when Jay-Z said he didn't F over or exploit people to get to where he's at. That's an absolute lie. We can point to instances of him exploiting people. But I can also agree that capitalism is a flawed system, but it's the most perfect flawed system we have. Until you present me, Mark Lamont Hill, a system that perfectly manages human nature and logistics, then I don't really want to hear.
You getting finessed every day. You turn on that TV, they put an ad on that bitch. You getting finessed every day on TikTok shop and they tell you to buy this. Oh, this looks cool. You getting finessed every day. You just not getting no money.
A critique of capitalism if there's no better alternative. Now, I say communism, right? Because again, that's like their perfect system they like to point to. They claim they're socialists, but they only say socialism because it's more acceptable than say you're a communist. But communism don't really take human nature into perspective. All right? Like, how do you get people to choose to go to school for 12 years to become a doctor, and they're getting paid the same as somebody who wakes up every day and, I don't know, like clean the roads or take the trash out, right? How do you incentivize that? It can't be, right, a higher standard of living. You can't say, hey, if you become a doctor, even though y'all all got the same wages, we will give you a bigger house. Well, that's no longer communism. That's no longer communism now, because we all have the same quality of life. That's communism, right? So if you go to school for 12 years to be a doctor, hey, bruh, you got to live in the same crib as the trash man. You got to eat the same food as the trash man, bruh. You get the same quality of money as the trash man, bruh. And God forbid you start saving money a little too well. You start hoarding money a little too well. Hey, bro, we got to come and take away some of that money, bruh, because you getting too rich. Right? So, yeah, like that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare. And also, too, again, in terms of communism, we have to rely on a perfect leader. All right, how do you put somebody in a position of power and don't expect them, to use their power? So you have to have a perfect leader who don't misuse their power, and then you also have to have a perfect society of people who are absolute go-getters. It would never happen, bro. Of people who will wake up every day and try their hardest, and that's not really the society we live in. So in this situation, man, where Mark Lamont Hill is taking this Jay-Z conversation, now trying to flip it to go at, like capitalism, I'm not buying it, bro. And people like Mark Lamont Hill, they will say these things, and they would give like ideas, but no real solution, because you can't tell me a better alternative than capitalism. Another person who, for some reason, a lot of people have linked to Roc Nation and Jay-Z. I feel like just by the very virtue of the work he does, people think he's cool, or based on his ideas and ideology and his politics, people just assume he's cool with like Roc Nation. But Van Lathan has never been to a Roc Nation brunch. I've seen him critique Jay-Z in the past, but people do consider like Van Lathan like Roc Nation adjacent for some reason. But Van Lathan had a really interesting perspective on the Jay-Z capitalism comment.
I think the break for me, and just the grand break, is that Jay-Z is saying we in that, but there is no we. What should be being said is I got money. I made it. I did this. Because the pushback on capitalism right now isn't about who made money fairly, or
it's
who
about
made
who
money
made it
ethically.
Because it look like this. If you follow the rules to get money that they gave us, you will be broke forever. You gotta get between the lines. You gotta think outside the box. If all of us was like, hey, I want to get money illegally the right way, you'll be broke forever. You have to take some risk. And that's where they want you at. That's why they program you to go to school, to go to college, to go to these motherfucking factories while you make this certain amount of dollar, and he can be on the motherfucking beach on a big ass yacht because he wants you to make the money the legal way. This way, this form. But Jay-Z's just saying, nigga, I made my money this way. Shit, I got the money. Shit, it is what it is.
It's about whether or not the system is inherently fair or ethical. And every time I hear somebody talk about this, that is missed. What people are saying is that they're looking around and they're seeing insane income inequality. They're seeing the eroding of living standards for average Americans. They're seeing even sometimes the life expectancy change, right? They're seeing fucked up food. They're seeing declining infrastructure. And they're not saying that Jay-Z isn't working. They're saying this isn't working. They're saying this thing that everyone was told to buy into, and that this would, hey, now ask. We're trying to have that conversation, even with the reason why I can rich and
man, I don't give a fuck about this shit. Honest true, I can't even watch this full video. Basically, the communism shit and the capitalism and the social. All I look at this shit is like, you don't know what it takes to be rich, and I didn't know this too. I'm thinking, get a nice 9 to 5, the typical shit. You literally have to do business, which some people is gonna not have the upper hand in it, bro. That's with anything. You're not going to have the right percentage. It's about leverage. Education and connections, bro. Jay-Z got the leverage with the dope money, put into his hustle. Then he sold his art. Then he started to own his art. Then he added more leverage to it. Then he got more information with it. Then he started shaking hands with the people that was probably corrupt. But he was like, I'm going to get my money regardless if they corrupt or not. Then he got that billion. We worried about fucking billionaires when we broke and struggling, bro. Why do we care? Everybody complaining about this shit ain't got as much money as Jay-Z. And if they got more money than Jay-Z, guess what? They not talking about this situation. They not talking about this shit. Everybody that's talking about this capitalism, socialism, they're fucking broke. That's why I don't want to watch this video. Because how can I talk about this video and I ain't got Jay-Z money? The fuck we crying about? Stop bitching. Get Jay-Z money. If you can't get Jay-Z money, nigga, get Hov money. That's the same niggas, different levels. That nigga, hey, when he start calling himself Hov, that nigga start taking that real money. You need leverage. You need ownership, bro. The way you getting your money is not the proper way. It's like reading Machiavelli, The Prince. This is not how you get money. You gotta fuck over something. You can't be a nice guy and get money. Some business has to be done that somebody's not gonna like. But hit the like button, comment down below, 3 shots of family. Stop worried about rich people. Start thinking how rich people think, and maybe you'll be rich. That's what I had to think. We are pretty complaining about, it's not equal to food, the housing. What changed this shit, man? Rich people write books all day. They give mentorships out, and they show you what the fuck they doing on social media. So just pay attention to what the hell they doing, so you become rich. Right? I'll see you on the next video.